Hey y'all. Alright, do y'all ever want just a good chili dog? Well, I do, and that's what I'm having tonight. So, not really much of a recipe, but I thought, you know what, if I get on there and make this chili dog, then they're going to want a chili dog too, because that's how it works. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. And y'all going to be wanting your chili dog after you see this. I know you will. So I have my onions here that I've been sauteing up. I've already cooked my ground beef. Okay, so we're just going to make a quick and easy chili dog sauce or coney sauce, whichever you want to call it. And I think I've done this on here before, but I don't remember how I made the sauce. Y'all know I don't remember. Y'all probably remember better than I can. So I'm just gonna run through it real quick. It's a delicious chili dog sauce. All right, so I'm just gonna throw in some garlic. Okay, to our onions, and I just did maybe 1/4 of an onion, not that much, and you want to cook it up really soft. And then throw your garlic in, and I did my ground beef, which is about I think I did about 1 pound or so. Because let me tell you about this sauce. So especially since this is a chili that doesn't have beans in it, which you can freeze regular chili, y'all know that. But the beans is what kind of will get a little mushy when you're trying to thaw it out and that sort of stuff. Why don't you look at this? I tried to pull my hair up a little bit different today, and it's not worked out, and it's about all fell down. So now I know to not try this method again. But anyway, that's why it's just falling everywhere. I should have took it down and redone it, but I didn't. Anyway, when making this coney sauce, and since we don't have beans in it, it freezes so well. So what you can do after you make your batch, get you just some of the little small quart freezer bags, and put just, it don't take much for a chili dog, or 2 or 3 or 4, and put you some in there, and then you can lay it out flat. You know what I'm talking about, where it just lays out flat in your freezer, and you can just kind of stack them up, the bags. And then all you need is your buns and your hot dogs. You get a bag of that coney sauce out of the freezer, and you've got you a good homemade chili dog. That's what I love about this, and I do that all the time. So then it's like, if you're craving, if you're thinking, oh, I want a good chili dog, or it's good for those nights if you're not cooking dinner and, everybody's just kind of fending for themselves or eating different things. That's a good option to have if you keep. I always kept hot dogs in the fridge whenever my boys were growing up. And actually, that's the reason why I bought these the other day. These are the little cheese dogs, and Braden always loved these. He would just go to the fridge, get one out, and just eat it. And cold, I can't eat them cold, but now I can just eat them. I can eat them after they're cooked with just some mustard on it or some relish or whatever. But we'd always keep these, and we would throw a few on the grill if we were grilling something. They're just good to have. So anyway, I bought these the other day because they were on sale, is what I'm getting at. And because I was thinking, oh, well, Braden loves those cheese dogs. And then I'm thinking, well, Braden's not here. It's so hard to adjust. I still overbuy and I still overcook. Y'all tell me, do you do that, or did you do that whenever, you went from having kids all the time to not having kids? It's really a hard adjustment to make. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm making me a chili dog. So this garlic's probably about cooked long enough. I'm going to let's see, get my ground beef. I'll be back in just a second, y'all. Alright, y'all, let's go ahead and add our ground beef back in here, and then we will add our seasonings in it, and then we'll add our other stuff. Alright, so like I said, this is probably a little bit more than what I was actually planning on making, but that's how much I had in this pack, and so I just wanted to finish it all up. So that may be a little bit more than a pound, but you cook however much you want to cook. And you can just adjust the seasonings to to fit the amount that you have. All right, so let's go ahead and add our seasoning in. So in this little, I went ahead and measured this out just for time's sake, but in here I have 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, some salt and pepper, a pinch of crushed red pepper, and that's it. Okay, going in. Now listen, you can do, if you don't have smoked paprika, you can do cumin. Cumin, if you have it. It's real smoky also, so I don't like to add both, or if I do add both, I do just a little bit of each. I would never do a tablespoon and a tablespoon for this amount of chili. So if I did want to add both, I would maybe do about, a teaspoon and a teaspoon, because you don't want to get it too smoky tasting. So I always say either add smoked paprika or the cumin, one or the other, not both, okay? But now that's just my preference. If you want to, you can. I just like to share that. So we've got that's all of our seasonings. Like I said, this is a very simple and easy coney sauce. I'm gonna crank it up a little bit, and now we're going to put in some of our W sauce. I'm thinking about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Let's see, it's about 1. It's about 2. I don't know. Let's do a little bit more for good measure. Y'all know how I am with this stuff. I love it. Alright, and then I have 1 cup of water here. I say add anywhere between about 1/3 of a cup to 1 cup. So we're not going to add all this at once. And the reason why I say that is because obviously when you're doing a coney sauce, you don't want it to have a lot of leftover liquid. You want that most of that liquid to cook out. You want it to be a thicker chili, and that way when you put a chili on there, let me just say this, when you put a chili on there and it has a lot of liquid in it, it's going to instantly make your bun soggy. So of course they're messy anyway, but they're going to be really, really messy. Hang on, let me grab my cloth. They're going to be really, really messy if you have too much liquid in your sauce. Okay? Alright, y'all, I'm just going to let that cook for just a second and let those seasonings cook in there really good. I'll tell you what, I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of the stuff in there. Alright, so what we're going to do, let me get this out. 1 6-ounce of tomato paste. Now you could do sauce too, if that's what you have. So 6 ounces of tomato paste. Ooh. I love this little tool here. Somebody sent me this, so I get asked all the time where I got it, but I don't know where she got it. She sent it to me and I love it. It works so well for these cans. Let me see if I can get the rest of that off there. Okay. Now, I have about, this is probably about 1/3 of a cup of ketchup. I really wanted about 1/2 of a cup, but this was all that I had. So, if I had 1/2, I would say 1/2 of a cup. This may be 1/2. This is a 1 cup measuring cup here that I put it in, but I don't add ketchup in my regular chili. My grandmother did. That was like the base of the sauce. The way she made it was the ketchup, but I never added into mine. But all right, and then we're going to do about 1 tablespoon of mustard. Let's see. Okay, about a tablespoon. Let's mix all this up. So that's more of our water. Now that we got our paste and everything in there, I think I'm going to, that is 3/4 of that. Let's see where we're at. Because I have 1 cup in that cup there. I think we're gonna go ahead and do the 1 cup, and that way we can let it sit here and simmer. Okay? And I believe that's it, y'all. That is our coney sauce. That easy. Few ingredients, stuff you have in your pantry. And I'll give it a taste here in just a little bit after it cooks for a minute to make sure we don't need to add any more salt or chili powder or whatever. Just make sure it's on track. As you can see, it's already a thick consistency. So I may end up having to add a little bit more water just to give it some time to cook. Because I like for everything to cook for just a little bit. I don't like just the flavor of ground beef. So I've got to have whatever I'm making it for, I've got to have those seasonings cooked in it really good. So I'm just going to turn this down low. I'm going to get the lid out, I think, and just let this sit here and hang out. I'm going to get all this put up. And I'm going to put my hot dogs over here in the skillet here in a minute. I'm going to wait on that. But anyway, I'll be back, y'all. Now look at our coney sauce. I'm going to tell you, and I'm being 100% honest. I just did a little taste test. The only other thing I'm going to add is just another little pinch of salt. And I mean just a little bit. I probably wouldn't even have to, but I felt like it needed a little bit. But let me say, that is so good. And what is so strange about it is the moment you taste it, you don't think about a bowl of chili. You think about chili dog. It's just so strange how the ingredients, it makes a difference. I don't know how to explain it. Trust me. If you make this exactly like how I just did, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like the mixture between that smoky paprika. I mean, that makes it. I would much rather have that all day long than cumin. So I really advise you to get you some smoked paprika. But that with a little bit of mustard and the W sauce, the tanginess with those two, and the smokiness, and then you got the ketchup, which has sugar in it. It is just, it's so good. I'm telling you, it is so good. Now, if I didn't add the ketchup, I would do a little bit of sugar, okay? So, like I said, I normally don't add ketchup into my regular chili, but I always add a little bit of sugar. But the ketchup makes up for that sugar a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I moved it over here. I'm just going to let this cook on low. I'm fixing to get my hot dogs going. Let's see. Let me show you just real quick. I think I've showed y'all this before, but I'll do it again. I always like to score them just a little bit. And I'm going to tell you, I got a bone to pick with Oscar Mayer. Why in the world did they take away the Ziploc at the top of these hot dogs? I can't understand it. That was one of the best things about them. I just don't understand it. That was the best thing. I loved that. Let me get something to lay these on. Hang on. I loved that about these hot dogs. You know, it came in, you know, it was 2 separate ones, just like it is now, but it had the Ziploc at the top. Look, why? I guess this is my first time. I don't know how long it's been since I've done that, but this is my first time getting them, I guess, since I've done it. All right. You know, and I'm just cooking all of these just because, like I said, I need to cook some of these. And I'm obviously not going to eat 5 chili dogs. I wish I could, but I'm not going to. Because I can just eat these like with just mustard, you know, like tomorrow or whenever. And so I just do that. I just put some scores in them like that. I just roll them over, and they don't have to be perfect. And then I just have my skillet here that I've moved over here to this side. Just put you a little bit of oil or butter or something in there, and then I just lay them in there, and I just kind of roll them around and roast them really, really good. And that's it. We got our chili going, and for long, y'all, we're gonna have us a delicious chili dog. I'm so excited. And every time I look up here, I got this right here, so I've got to take care of that before I come back. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, y'all let me know. Have y'all, do y'all ever buy the Oscar Mayer hot dogs, and have you noticed the Ziploc thing? I'm going to look that up and see what the deal is, because I know there's got to be people fussing about that, because I'm fussing about it. Anyway, I'll be back. Hey y'all, okay, I've just got our hot dogs sitting here. I've just got them on a low temperature. You see how I like to get them? I like to get them that good, you know, color like that. Just rubbing them back and forth. But if I don't grill them, this is how I like to do them. I don't ever like to just boil a hot dog. If you want to do yours like that, that's perfectly fine. Anyway, I'm going to just let these sit here on low. I am going to go ahead and turn our chili off, and that way it can start to cool down. Because I can't put hot chili on a chili dog or on it and let it sit there and cool off where I can take a bite of it, because then it's going to mess my bun all up. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just let this cool down a little bit. I'm probably going to take the lid off too. That'll help it cool down quicker. And anyway, when I come back, we're going to load us up a good chili dog, y'all. The only other thing I would love to have is some good fried potatoes with it, but I'm going to use a little bit of self-control and not do it. Alright, y'all, let's build up this chili dog. I cannot even wait. And look, it fits in my little dish so well. I thought, well, I don't need fried potatoes anyway, because they wouldn't fit in here. Alright, so let's get us out one of these dogs. Let's see. I think that one looks good. Y'all see there? I love them to look like that. Doesn't that look good? Good, good. And so, see, I can just eat these like this with just mustard all over them. I love it like that. Y'all let me know. And what I like to do, I like to put just a little bit of mustard on the hot dog down here directly, and then I put more on top. Alright, so let's get some of our chili. I didn't even think about it. I didn't want this to get too cooled off because I want my cheese to melt. But I just didn't. But it's really thick, as you can see, so that's how we want it. But I just didn't want it to be like, you know, boiling hot. But it's still good and hot where I'm hoping it'll melt the cheese. Alright, so we've got that. Let's see. Let's set it up here. And then now I'm going to put on some cheese. If I have to melt it for a minute, then I will. We got to have lots of cheese, right? That's one of the important parts about it. Okay. Then I'm going to do some onion. Push it all down in there. It's like that. Now. And then I like to do the mustard over the top. It gets right here. Now. So I'll do a little bit more cheese. Alright, so see, this is how I like for my chili dog to look right here, y'all. Alright, I'm going to let this, I'm going to pop something over this and see if that cheese will kind of melt a little bit. If not, I may even have to pop it in the oven or microwave for just a second. But anyway, I'll get it figured out and I'll come back and we're going to taste this thing. Okay, y'all. I've let the cheese get good and melted. Now you see why, like, you know, I like to add the, after I do the chili, then I add cheese, and then I do the onions, and then a little bit more cheese on top, and that's because it holds all those onions and everything good in place, okay? So here we go. Now I'll probably end up eating this with a fork, but for that good first bite, I want just the full feel of a chili dog, and I'm gonna do it with y'all. And I'm going to trust that y'all are still going to love me after this. This is messier than any taco could ever be. So let's see here. Y'all see this thing? Oh my gosh. Alright. And I'm using a keto bun, by the way. Now, y'all know I don't do keto. I just try to cut carbs where I can. Obviously, the chili has sugar in it and all that. I just try to cut where I can, and I don't really care about the bread. So, anyway. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-mm-mm. Just as good as I was hoping and thinking that it would be. I'm going to do one more bite, y'all. That wasn't even enough. Let's try it again. Mmm. This is by far the best chili sauce I've ever made. I will, once I turn this off, I'm going to write down exactly how I did this because y'all know I'll forget. I'll do it that part. And I'm going to write it down. It is just, it is fantastic. I don't remember how I made it the other time I was on here, but I don't think it was this good because I don't remember like raving. I mean, it was good, obviously, but it wasn't this good. So I must have done it a different way, and I don't know what even made me do it this way, but it is a keeper. Make you a chili dog. Make this sauce. Come back. Let me know. I promise you, you will love it. All right. Now I know. All y'all gonna tell me. Let me know. Now you're craving a chili dog. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.